Sip of water real quick. You ready?
Yeah.
Hey! It's Sherwood and I, Aaron, me. I guess SkullKast is what we're doing. Just another regular podcast.
Is that the title of this one?
Yeah, we're just the SkullKast is the regular
Mucky
podcast.
Boys podcast at the top.
Yeah, that was a whole idea for another thing. I was drunk at the time.
So many ideas.
So many, infinite ideas. So, what's up with you, Sherwood?
Nothing much. I'm here, aren't I?
Yeah, you're right here in my messy ass room.
As usual.
We're talking. Hey, sometimes it's clean. We're just talking, having a podcast, doing a catch up on things. Haven't done one of these in a while. I guess we'll just jump right into it with the thing that's on everyone's mind: the COVID. Let's get that shit out of the way.
Which one? Which COVID?
The COVID-19.
Okay, I missed the last 18.
Yeah, I was a big fan of about COVID-6, but then COVID-7 and 8 really lost me. And by the time we got to 19, total bullshit. Yeah. So this shit sucks.
I wish someone would wake me up from this quarantine age dream. We're in a quarantine age.
Yeah, I got it. I got the joke.
I'm workshopping it.
You keep workshopping it. You keep working on that one.
Wait a minute. Are we in a quarantine?
Kinda?
What's the official status on that?
My life has not changed one iota.
Well, you live in your room.
I live in my room on a text document most of the time. Or whatever. An Animal Crossing, as I do most of my time now.
I'm out of fucking work.
Yeah, you're out of Applebee's,
I ain't getting
man.
paid, man.
Are you gonna get your unemployment yet?
I filed for it, but you know how that goes.
Yeah. Fucking government. Goddamn.
Fuck the poor people.
Fucking shysters over here. Let's not get too political on this. That's just a bad road for us to start yelling about, like, eat the rich and shit.
Well, I think most people would agree. Most working class people would agree.
Most sane human beings
I'm working
would
class,
agree.
so I care.
I mean, I'm not even working class.
Work.
I work. I work on things that do not pay money. I work on my books.
Freelance.
No, freelance work is very hard to come by, and that does pay if you're doing it right. If you're doing freelance work for free, that's not freelance work. That's fucking charity.
Well, free's in the name.
Yeah, that's because you're free to, get your stuff in wherever you want to go. You're not tied to any one place.
So what you're saying is you haven't really been affected too much by this virus shit.
I have not been affected in the least. In fact, my book sales are through the roof, comparatively.
Everyone else is inside.
Everyone else is inside reading shitty erotica they find on Amazon. No copies of Wolfsbane have been sold whatsoever. Not even a page read. Nobody's interested in that.
You'll get your time someday.
Yeah, I'll get there. I'm a persnickety. I'm a persistent little bitch, and I'm gonna keep making books until someone fucking reads them, and those fuckers will. So I guess we'll just get to this docket I've prepared. We don't necessarily have to go in any order. This is just a list of shit. I guess we'll start with movies. Which of these three? Because these are the only three I remember us watching recently. We haven't been watching a ton of movies, but we watched Invisible Man.
I liked it.
I didn't care for it. I thought it was really boring. I thought it was just like a lot of nothing happening.
Yeah, well, you can't see him most of the time.
Can't see the threat most of the time, so it's like, here's a shot of an empty room.
I that's one detail I did like, how... Oh, they're just looking at an empty room, there's no one. No, it's the Invisible Man. He's right there.
Yeah, I'll say that it is good, and it is a good use of empty space, but it's also like... Factually, you're just looking at rooms most of the time.
Yeah, he's invisible.
And then, like, out of nowhere, for some reason, it becomes, like, an action movie for a scene where he, like,
where he's beating their ass?
Not her ass, but beating up all the cops as well.
Well, he had to get out of there.
Did he? He's invisible. Why did he have to kill him?
I mean, spoilers, it was his plan to set up his brother.
You're just going right into spoilers.
I said spoilers.
But,
anyone listening to this probably doesn't give a shit about this movie.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, it's just a weird movie in general, like...
Elizabeth Moss,
like, that's one thing I'll say, is the performances were all pretty good, except for I didn't care for the Invisible Man when he was, like, actually out of the suit. Thought he was kind of weird looking.
The guy himself.
Yeah, I didn't really...
Yeah, no, he was from, The Haunting on Hill House.
Yeah, I never watched
Hill
that.
House. He was the addict brother.
Sure.
Who like, oh, he's on drugs, so he's crazy, but he's actually seeing those ghosts.
He's seeing spooks, seeing that guy with the cane or whatever people said.
That was a good ghost.
I never watched that shit. It seemed boring. Boring as fuck.
Yeah.
Invisible Man, also boring. I
fair.
didn't see Upgrade, the director's previous movie.
I don't know the director's name.
I don't know his name either, but I didn't see that one. I heard okay things about it. I heard it's about on par with this one in terms of being kind of fucking boring and also just having a lot of stupid shit in it.
Well, that stupid shit.
Well, no, I mean, when I say stupid shit in this context, I mean like plot inconsistencies and sloppy script writing and shit like that, where it's just like, why is this happening? And it's because it's happening, and that's why. It was written so that it would happen that way, so that's how it's happening.
That's writing.
No, that's bad writing, where, like, a character doesn't act like any person ever would.
Can you give me an example?
So, at one point in the movie, the Invisible Man... Oh, yeah, so Elizabeth Moss goes to live with a cop and his daughter while she's trying to, like, get over the abusive relationship she escaped. And the Invisible Man hits this child, and everyone's like freaking out. Whoa, you just hit my child. I'm gonna get my daughter out of here. You don't need to be here when I get back.
Okay.
But, like, why didn't he just kick her out? The house would be safe if she wasn't there. Why does he need to take his daughter somewhere else?
The Invisible Man is...
But he doesn't believe the Invisible Man's real. So he's taking his daughter somewhere else so that he can come back to an empty house?
Giving her a chance to get her shit and get out of there.
Why not just, like, say, get your shit and get out of here?
She's probably got a bunch of things all over the house. It'd take, like, 20
No, the real reason it's like that is so that they have a scene of her in an empty house where she can spread coffee grounds everywhere and
Makes sense.
make little tricks. And then she, like, throws paint on him, and it's a whole bucket of paint that, like, covers his whole suit. And then, like,
it was mostly, like, his head.
It was, like, his head, but, like, chest and shoulders, completely covered in white paint. So he goes down to the kitchen sink and within like 2 seconds has completely washed this super high-tech camera suit off.
Wait, it's
without taking it off?
It's a high-tech camera suit, so I would assume they got some sort of Teflon coating on the outside.
No, because it's stuck on him originally!
Everything just kind of slides off.
Why didn't he go to the shower? That would have made so much more sense. You know why? Because the script was written to say he went to the kitchen.
All right, I'll give you that. I did not consider the shower.
It's just like, it's a bunch of little things like that that really just drag down the whole thing for me, where it's like, this is a fairly tense situation with some good performances.
I like that attic scene.
The attic scene was like,
you know he's right there, but then blam, he's right there.
The scenes themselves are fine, but then you think about them for a couple seconds and they just kind of don't line up in a logical way.
One thing that stuck out to me, why did he call her in the attic?
Why did any of it happen? Because it was scary. That's why. Why did this billionaire fake his death for this girl? We don't know anything about her or him or their relationship. Why?
I don't know. Ask an abuser.
I'm just like, abusers don't.
She asked that in the movie.
Abusers.
She said, "Why me? Why'd you choose me?"
Abusers aren't billionaires that fake their deaths to use their super high-tech robot suits to invisibly harass someone.
Who wouldn't do that?
Almost any human being.
One billionaire who wouldn't have used their money to fuck with someone.
Elon Musk, great dude.
Fuck that guy.
No, man, he donated all those ventilators. He's a great dude.
The ventilators? What?
The ventilators, this refrigerators, whatever the fuck he was doing.
They were not ventilators.
They were fake ones. Yeah, the whole movie just kind of doesn't make any sense. Like, internally or externally, any part of it, really. That's all about I have to say. It was boring and didn't make a lot of sense, so I didn't care for it. You liked it, and that's fair.
Good effects?
Fair. I was about to say the CG was kind of shitty like the whole time.
You couldn't see him for most of the movie.
Almost like they were just filming empty rooms.
I don't know, they got some green suit people in there a couple
and
times.
It looked bad every time it did. The guns floating around looked super bad. Yeah. Like,
a gun floating around looks dumb.
Like,
can't get around that.
I get it was a low-budget movie and it did make a lot of money for how little money they spent on it, but it's real clear that they didn't spend money on it because it's empty rooms for most of the movie.
It was just like a few $1 million.
I think it was like $5 million budget, was it?
Like 7.
Something like that. It was a modest budget. And they did enough. They did a lot with what they had.
I like that fight scene where he's fighting her in the kitchen and he's like slamming her around and throwing her across
That's
the
another
room.
thing. Like, Well, did he have super strength?
It's a suit, so...
It is a suit!
You know, little bit.
So he had to have some amount of super strength from the way he was, like, throwing hardwood tables
and he
around.
Could lift up a man by the neck.
But, like, they never addressed this.
I mean, how would you address that?
I don't know.
Give him a little monologue where it says, "Ha, this suit gives me just enough power to lift a grown man."
One line where she's like, when she's trying to convince people that he's real, and it's like, yo, he makes him invisible, he's like real strong. I don't know. Oh, the scene that I hate the most in this movie is where the Invisible Man sends the main character's sister a strongly worded email, and despite the main character being like, I didn't write that, that's crazy, what are you talking about? She just refuses to talk to her sister because of a strongly worded email she got.
Well, you know, those white women feel about strongly worded emails.
With no evidence that it came from her. It could come from anyone.
It probably had her email address on it. I don't know.
So? Anybody can hack into emails nowadays.
If you got an email from me, and I said it wasn't me, would you believe me?
Probably. Because, I mean, my emails have been hacked before. Nobody sent anything, but, like, I've had emails get hacked into. It's not an unreasonable thing in 2020.
So if I got an email from you that said, "Fuck you, cuck," I would probably think it was you.
You would probably think it's me until you come over and I'm like, whoa, I didn't send any email.
And I would be like, okay.
Yeah!
A little suspicious.
Because, like, who would believe this random email over a person in person that you have known for decades?
That is fair. She didn't listen to her.
She didn't even give her a chance. She was just like, nah, I don't believe you, and then shut the door in her face. When her sister is clearly emotionally and mentally distraught, having just been kicked out of the police guy's house. Like, who acts like this? What people? Ever?
City folk.
Fucking city folk. Can't trust them. I guess we'll move on from there, unless you have anything else to say on Invisible Man.
Nope.
We watched the Nicolas Cage Color Out of Space movie, the H.P. Lovecraft adaptation.
Is it the first
I think
H.P. Lovecraft adaptation he's been in?
You know, I don't know. I was about to ask if you, or thought you were about to ask if it was the first Color Out of Space, and I think there was an old, like, one back in the 80s or 70s or something. This movie kind of sucks, just in general. Like, all the characters suck. Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage is probably the most entertaining part of it. The first half of the movie is, like, nothing happening. And then all of a sudden it's this wacky CG color goop flying around, shooting laser beams at people.
It's a color out of space.
There's a color out of space.
Like, they saw a flash of light, and he said, oh, it was pink. Or maybe it was purple. I don't know.
It's not like any color I've seen before. But it's just like pink and purple. That's it.
Yeah, was it based on the book?
It was based on a short story by H.P. Lovecraft, and the short story is like 5 to 10 pages or something. It's real short.
What's it even about?
It's about a color out of space
Okay.
and makes shit go crazy. And that's it. That's really it.
That's technically what happened.
And that is what happened over the course of 2 fucking hours.
Spoilers, the mom got turned into a monster.
So, I did start enjoying the movie more when the mom and the youngest son got fused together.
Like, he was on
into a monster.
She slowly absorbed
some
him.
Society shit. Oh, we should talk about Society after this. That's a good movie. Yeah, it was just fucking...
But they didn't dwell on, like, here's the monster, and they would show for, like, maybe a second, and then show something else.
So, I did appreciate that they had a fair amount of practical effects in there, but they didn't really... They did, actually, yes. They weren't the best, but, like, the alpacas, when they got fused together into a monster, that was practical.
Oh, that was straight out of the thing.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing about this movie, is that it just rips off a bunch of other things and calls it homage. I don't know if they call it homage, but it plays its inspirations on its sleeve. There's a lot of Poltergeist, a lot of Thing, there was a bunch of other shit they overtly referenced.
They did a lot of that thing I hate in horror situations where there's clearly some shit going on, but no one's really doing much about it.
Yeah.
They're just kind of like, ooh, something going on here?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was a situation of, like, I mean, what the fuck is going on
There's
here?
a fucking meteor landed in your backyard.
Yeah,
I guess it just disappeared.
Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage is the most entertaining part of this movie, and he goes about 80% Cage for maybe 5 minutes of the movie.
Like 60% max.
Maybe not full 80, but it's for such a short period of the movie. There's just nothing to get out of this.
I don't think it even really amounted to anything.
Nothing
crazy.
No.
He just kind of screamed, locked his wife in the attic, and then sat in the living room watching TV.
And locked his daughter in there too at one point. I thought that scene was pretty cool where she was like,
"Feed your mother!"
about to get eaten by the monster mom.
Yeah, that scene was really confusing because, like, the mom was saying, "I'm hungry," and she's, like, right on top of her, but she's like, no, mom, and, like,
yeah, you're not, like, slapping
to her.
I don't think there's anything sexual going on.
That was my question. Like, I thought I may have seen something down in the nether regions of that monster.
I didn't see any of that.
I can't be sure. She was, like, right on top of her and, like, moaning and groaning.
Yeah, and it, like, took, like, she was just sitting there on top of her going, like,
slobbering on
for
her.
like 5 minutes while the other characters are downstairs, and then it's like,
they hear her scream, and then they run up there.
Within 2 seconds, they're up there and, like, stopping it. And it's like,
Nicolas Cage blasts in and blows the mother's head off.
That's not my family. Yeah, I didn't care for this movie at all.
Yeah, disappointed.
Yeah, very disappointed. I'm a big H.P. Lovecraft fan and a big Nicolas Cage fan, so I was expecting some wacky shit, some more, or less Disney Channel original movie level special effects, because that color, when they really started showing it near the end, it was just a CG cloud from fucking Calabar's Revenge.
The very end where they got... Actually, no. I like the scene where the mom and the kid get got.
Yes.
Like, she's, like, trying to shield him, and then, blam! They just get blasted with the laser tentacles.
I liked everything to do with the mom and the youngest son becoming a monster. It wasn't handled the best, but I liked it. It was some cool, interesting ideas. Some cool, like, that's pretty horrific seeing them melted together. Like, she's resorbing him or something.
But then the investigator guy, he was really limp throughout the whole movie. He's like, hey, the water.
Yeah, I'm a hydrologist.
Oh, by the way, don't drink the water.
Bottled water only, Tommy Chong.
And then at the end, when the whole area gets destroyed, well, not the whole area, it's just like 1,000 yards in diameter.
Pretty much their house property gets destroyed.
And then, like, cut to, he's, like, standing on some dam where earlier they had made an announcement that the town was going to be, like, a water supplier for the region. And he said, even after all this, I won't drink the water. And then he, like, walks away.
And that's it. But then, they show another one of the little color bugs flying around. It's like, it's gonna happen again.
You know what's a better movie than Color Out of Space? Wicker Man.
Not gonna even
with the
deny
bees,
that.
the bees cut, not the bees cut. I mean, the part where it says "not the bees" included in the movie. Yes. I know when we watched it, it didn't.
Cool, that's a deleted scene.
No, that's part of the movie. They put the bees on him.
I didn't know it was a deleted scene, so I just kept waiting for the bees to come.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
I fucking love the original Wicker Man. That movie kicks ass. It's
so a better movie.
Oh,
really.
it's much better movie. So that movie's really tense and like unsettling. As for the Nicolas Cage one is like
Nicolas Cage being a fucking weirdo.
It's a farce. I guess that's all we really have to say about that. Last movie on this docket here is Blue Velvet
by
David Lynch. It was the first David Lynch movie I've ever seen. I never watched Twin Peaks. I have since started watching Twin Peaks.
I remember years ago we watched like 1 or 2 episodes.
We watched the first episode's like 90 minutes, and I think we got like a half an hour into it because we didn't even get to Cooper showing up. I've been watching Twin Peaks, and that's a really good show for the first season at least.
And they're like some spooky stuff.
It's I don't want to spoil anything, but it's like there's some shit going on there that's like not just a murder.
Like Riverdale.
Just like Riverdale. The best show on television.
Jughead sees that portal to the other dimension.
Oh, Jughead. Remember when Jughead faked his death for half a season? And then he wasn't dead.
Spoilers.
Oh no, spoilers for Riverdale.
I mean, isn't he still currently faking his death? In the series?
I think that came out because he had a whole big confrontation with the Quill and Skull Society.
Shit, I don't remember that.
They had the whole big like thing where him and Betty came in and were like, "You murdered people and stole the Baxter Brothers franchise from my grandfather."
And the guy jumped out the window.
Yeah, the other guy killed himself for what reason?
He wasn't gonna get away with his plan.
What plan?
To I don't know.
He killed himself to make it seem like there was more going on than there was.
Jughead got him. He had him dead to rights. So he's like, "Fuck you, Jughead," and jumped out the window.
My favorite Blue Velvet character, Jughead Jones. I mean, yeah, I guess we'll just jump into Riverdale from there. I don't really have much to say about Blue Velvet other than that's.
I mean, what can we say about Riverdale that we haven't already said? It's bullshit.
Fair enough.
Stupid.
It's the best show on TV. I stand by that.
They keep doing it is a dumb show, but they do a lot of like, oh, you think they're gonna do this cliche story trope here, and they like go right at it and turn to the side at the last second.
But then sometimes they'll like go right at the story cliche and then pierce through it and invent new levels of that being cliched. It's a show. It is a television show.
It's entertainment.
It is absolutely entertainment, not sports entertainment. That's something else entirely.
Archie was playing football at some point.
If you've been in prison your whole life, you've never known the epic highs and lows of high school football. Because that guy dropped out of high school to run drugs to pay for his nana. Yeah.
To pay for his nana?
Pay for his nana's medical treatments.
Okay.
I think that's what they were saying. Blue Velvet, weird fucking movie. I don't know who I could even recommend it to.
Kyle MacLachlan.
Kyle MacLachlan is a young man. You got
Mr. Big from Sex and the City.
Never seen it.
That's where I know him from.
Fucking shit. What's Hopper, man? What's his name?
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper.
Things?
What?
Wait, who are we talking about?
Fucking...
You said Hopper, I'm thinking Stranger Things.
Fucking, what's his face? Frank Booth in the movie.
Frank Booth. The crazy guy?
The crazy guy. Who's
I'll
his
fuck
actor?
anyone that moves! I don't know his name.
It's fucking Hop or something. I forget. He's great. Fucking steals the show of that movie. Singing or listening to Roy Orbison and crying. It's fucking weird. Raping that woman.
Well,
it's unclear if any penetration happened.
This is a complicated topic.
That it is.
He did, spoilers, he did kidnap her husband and child.
And cut off the ear of
the husband's ear. And he was, like, forcing her to do it. So, yeah, it was rape.
It was rape, but it's unclear, like, what level of penetration, because he never, like, pulled anything out.
I don't think that's the really important part here.
But it's unclear what level it got to.
Rape or legit rape.
I didn't say that. Whoa. None of my business there. It's a good movie. I like the songs in it.
Fucking weird movie.
It's weird as shit, and I loved it. But, again, I don't think I can recommend it to almost anyone.
Something I just recently watched was Into the Tall Grass by Stephen King.
Oh. No.
Yeah, it was based on a story, and then they made a Netflix movie out of it with Patrick Wilson. I think he's the most notable person in it.
Fucking Patrick Wilson, always playing Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, it's him. He had a mustache this time.
Oh, wildly different now.
Do you know anything about it?
No.
It's literally just people going into some grass. There's tall grass. It's like 6 feet.
What's in there?
You can't see out of it. There's nothing in there. It's just grass.
That's it?
And then a giant rock in the middle of it, which turns out to be an ancient alien that landed thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
And then it uses Patrick Wilson as his acolyte to kind of, get all the other people, and then it feeds off some form of negativity. So it's a classic Stephen King story.
So speaking of Stephen King, The Outsider, we watched all that.
Yep, that's basically the same thing. Ancient alien shows up, it's using someone.
Outsider was a really good show. I hope they don't do a season 2. I hope they don't do a season 2, because that doesn't need to happen.
Well, the spoilers, the reveal at the end of The Outsiders was, it wasn't the alien that was the outsider.
Was it an alien?
Yes.
Was it? Did he say he came from his... I thought he was just, like, always around like a monster man.
I thought they said he's, like, thousands of years.
Well, you can be thousands of years old and not be an alien.
He landed... I don't fucking
Did
know.
He land?
It's Pennywise again.
It's Pennywise!
It's Stephen King. It's some fucking ancient alien lands and it's trying to take it over. And feeding off of some form of negativity.
I am not a fan of Stephen King. I like a lot of Stephen King adaptations, but Stephen King as a writer... is just fucking awful.
Oh yeah, it's in a small town.
Of course, it's always in a small like Michigan town or whatever, and there's always some unstoppable evil force.
And some people around know about it, kinda, but they don't really talk about it.
And everybody's just like on the down low about that. But then there's also just weird sex stuff.
Well,
like he can't resist putting in just weird sexual stuff. Like I am an erotic author. I don't like it. It's creepy.
Had that child gangbang.
The child gangbang in it. Fucking Tommyknockers was the first book of his I ever read, and it's like, it's a cool story. Dude, what do you know about Tommyknockers?
Aliens that take over.
It's a small town, and one day main character's walking in the woods, trips over like a metal thing in the ground, slowly starts uncovering it. Turns out it's an alien spaceship, and it's driving the town crazy. Classic Stephen King. But like in the middle of this, there's like a whole chapter about the main character's sister's dildo. There's like the crazy homeless man is like thinking about fucking everyone. And like even in that's another thing. Aside from the weird sexual shit, in Stephen King's writing, there's just so much unnecessary information. Like, I'll never I tried to read It after watching all the movies, or both the movies, or all three of them, whatever.
I own the book. I'll get to it someday.
I got like 100 pages in, and I just couldn't fucking do it. Cause like, there were legitimately 10 to 15 pages about one of the characters' wives' prom night. This character never shows up again!
Wait a minute, who's describing these events?
Some
guy?
I don't even remember. It's been a while. It's just, like, I think it was from the perspective of the guy it was the one that killed himself, the, like, Jew guy.
What?
Whoa, the
What
Jew...
story is this?
It. In It, the one that kills himself instead of going back to the
Stanley.
team. Stanley, that's it. Yeah, it's Stanley's wife's prom night is detailed in its entirety.
And he fucked her?
I don't think they even had sex on the prom night. They were just, like, walking on a gravel road at the end.
Okay.
And that's it! What is the point of this, Steven? Why am I reading this? I want to read about the spooky clown!
He's got good concepts.
Fantastic concept, and his prose is actually fucking fantastic. He is an amazing writer.
Give me a line.
I don't remember any fucking lines. But it's just like the general page to page, it's really well written. But then, again, similar to Invisible Man, you think about anything for like 2 seconds, and it's like, why is this in the book? This doesn't connect to literally anything. Why is so much time being dedicated to it? And maybe I'm just ultra sensitive to this as a writer, of thinking about what I'm putting into each of my books, and it's... I can't imagine just cutting away from the story to talk about the prom night of a side character's wife, who doesn't show up again! What's the point?
Backstory.
No.
World building.
That's bad.
Character development.
She's barely a character. She's just there to find her husband dead.
What about horror movies this year?
Horror movies in 2020. Movies in 2020 in general are in a weird fucking spot because of the whole COVID.
Of the quarantine.
And yeah, like all theaters are shut down for the most part.
What was the last movie you saw in theaters?
Shit, what was the last movie I saw in theaters?
I saw Sonic.
I think it was Harley Quinn.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that movie was fine.
I saw a couple more.
You saw Bloodshot, didn't you?
Yeah, that was the last thing I saw.
Yeah. I would rather have seen that than Harley Quinn, but Harley Quinn was fine. Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, Vin Diesel does a drop kick in it. Automatically.
National treasure.
Vin Diesel's the greatest actor of all time.
Flying through the air like Superman, punching people into the ground.
Yeah, why not? But yeah, horror movies specifically are in a real bad place right now.
The Boy 2.
We've got The Boy 2.
I heard that was disappointing compared to the first one.
I heard the first one was
what that's
real,
supposed to mean.
real fucking boring and bad, so don't know how they made it worse. Quiet Place 2.
I almost saw that, but didn't.
I
I don't even know if they actually came out with it. I just saw it listed in a theater somewhere.
I didn't care too much for the first Quiet Place when I was mildly entertained while watching it.
I love the concept.
But the more I thought about it, it's just like, why? Why is this movie?
What do you mean?
What was gained from watching this? It wasn't scary. It wasn't actually all that interesting.
Were you going to get scared?
I mean, it's a horror movie. I wanted either some
What was the last thing
scares.
you were scared by?
Evil Within 2, the game. That got me.
Well, I'm talking about movies.
Oh, movies? You know, that's a difficult question. Because what is scared?
Yeah, to you, what's scared? You're saying this thing isn't scary enough. What are you looking for?
I will say, Color Out of Space did have one shot that, like, kind of got me, where the mom from the top down skittering across the floor.
When they first come back to her, she's like, oh, fuck.
Like, this is a monster moving very quickly. Like, that shot got me a little bit, and, like, that's about it. But, Quiet Place 1 just, again, it was a boring movie where not a lot happened. The characters were unlikable. They made terrible decisions.
Wait. Who was unlikable?
Every character in Quiet Place 1 and in Color Out of Space.
How?
What was likable about him?
John Krasinski, he's trying to solve the problem.
No! He was doing a bad job of it.
A little distant. Well, no, he had the most progress out of anyone without actually knowing what the real solution was.
And, like, what about at the beginning of that movie where they are, like, walking along the trail and then the, like, homeless man is there and he screams?
No, that was later on.
Well, whatever. Why did he scream?
I think he was just done. He was ready to die.
Why did he wait for them?
I think he wasn't waiting. That's how I read the scene. His wife got, and John Krasinski was right there with whoever else. And he was looking at the man like, come on, dude, please don't say anything else right now. And the old man was like, too bad, I'm gonna do it. He's ready to die.
So, like, the more and more I thought about that movie, the more I don't like that movie at all. And what about it needed a sequel? The one thing I kind of liked about it was the, like, last shot where, we figured out how to beat these things.
He just killed, like, one or two of them.
Cocks a shotgun as they see more coming. Perfect ending for that movie.
On the cameras.
Did not care for most of it, but that was a great place to end it.
That was like...
humanity can come back from this.
Yes. The greater concept of these things came to Earth, they totally wrecked everyone. You can see, like, I love the first shot of the movie gives you a good idea of what the world state is. It's a traffic light on the ground in a wrecked street. So, like, society is not doing shit in this
Everybody's surviving on their own.
Everyone's literally walking on pins and needles, trying not to make a noise.
Walking on sand trails.
No way to survive. The family, John Krasinski's family, has a baby, so, like...
Why did they have a baby?
Well, they're fucking, alright? There's no
abort it!
They're fucking... How are they gonna abort it? How would you abort a baby?
Boom! Punch in the stomach, baby!
Ugh.
Baby gone!
How late would you wait to do that?
I'd be doing it, like, every day. It would be like, alright, gotta get it done. Until we know this baby's fucking gone, you're getting a deck in the stomach every day.
Jesus, dude. Punching your wife?
Hey, she'd have to agree to it. I wouldn't just abort her baby.
Have to agree. Jeez.
No, I didn't. I meant she would have to agree. She would have to agree for me to do it. I'm not that she would be forced to agree.
Because of the implication.
The implication. Yeah. So, like, what...
Like the monsters.
The monsters were okay. They had a similar problem to what I had with Edge of Tomorrow, where they're kind of too strong for what they actually do in the movie.
What do you mean by that?
Like,
too strong?
Like, earlier in the movie, we see that, like, if you make any noise, they will run 1,000 miles an hour and just get you. They will get you in a second.
The kid holds up the toy and it goes off.
But then there's other instances where they're, like, running away from them on foot and, like, making tons of noise, but they're not getting got. And same with, like, in Edge of Tomorrow, the monsters are animated, like, moving supersonic speeds around, flailing
No. They're not supersonic speeds, alright?
They're moving around super fast with these, like, razor tentacles flying in every direction.
They're like dirt noodle monsters, pretty much.
But people just kind of run around them, and, like, the monsters will run into a scene and then just stand there instead of killing everyone around them in seconds.
Who knows what it's thinking?
Exactly! It's stupid shit! See, I had no interest in Quiet Place 2. The one of these movies we did see was the Grudge remake, which... that movie sucked.
Well, we saw it, and then we went back and watched Grudge 1 and 2, I think.
We watched The Grudge 1 a long time ago.
And I remember thinking...
That movie scared me when I first saw it.
Well, yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
But The Grudge 2020, we were watching it, and it was, like, pretty slow. Felt disjointed, because, like, well, they're putting these scenes all over the place.
It was bad.
And then after seeing Grudge 1 and 2, it's kind of the same movie.
It's kind of the same movie, but way worse.
Structurally, they made it the same, and, like, we're gonna put everything out of order. The very last thing you see is, like, technically the very first thing to happen.
Yeah, the timeline of it is fucking terrible. Timeline's terrible in the first one, too.
The franchise comes with the one rule is, if you go in the house, you're dead. She's gonna get you.
Yeah.
And that kind of takes a little bit of the tension out of any of them, really.
Yeah, that's kind of my biggest issue. It's like, yeah, there's no chance of getting out. Like, when Nancy's friends were all killed by Freddy Krueger. And then she's thinking, like,
back.
I gotta find a way to beat this fucker. There's no way to beat Kayako. You go in the house, you're done.
I mean, in the movie, it's questionable if Nancy actually beat Freddy.
Well, yeah.
Because of the way they did it.
But then in the later movies, she just shows up and she's fine. Whatever.
But
Still.
in the franchise of The Grudge, I think because we hadn't seen the first one when it came out.
In a while.
No, like, originally when it came out, or, like, in the past, like, whoa, this is pretty interesting and new. Now... if we see another Grudge movie, it's the same shit. They go in the house, they're fucked.
Shit.
And that kind of worked against the new one. And...
we also saw... didn't we see Grudge, like, 3? Was there a 4?
Oh, there's a bunch of them. I don't know if we... did we watch the third one?
We definitely...
oh my god, we did. Yes, I remember. It was in an apartment.
Yes. Those movies...
ooh, and the kid got killed.
That kid got...
He got fucking wrecked on camera.
Death in the third one was pretty fucking good. But... it was a terrible goddamn movie.
I like the idea of it can spread.
Yeah.
That kind of... it gets it away from, like, it's only in this house.
My biggest issue is... like, Kayako is the draw. Kayako was pretty scary in the first one. But then, you know, it's just a ghost lady, and she goes, ah. But then...
she gets ya.
Then they get away from Kayako, and it's just like ghost people with, like, shit on their face. And that is my biggest complaint about every horror movie and horror game, is when the monster or the scare is just some dude with some shit on their face.
Insidious. Demon makeup.
Fuck that movie.
I like...
Tiptoe Through the Tulips or whatever. Fuck off.
what was the one where the girl ghost turns around and says, I want your soul? Conjuring?
I think it was Conjuring 2.
No, Annabelle Creation.
Was it I thought it was Conjuring 2.
No, and I'm thinking of Annabelle, because the little girl's in the room, she's like, what do you want from me? And it turns out, like, I want your soul! And then the movie keeps going.
Yeah, I think that was Annabelle. Yeah.
Like, I like that when she turned around and it's like, it's not just a person, it's a little bit of CG touch-up.
And it looked like shit, and it wasn't scary.
Well, scary is what scary does.
It's very subjective, but, like, I don't know, horrific imagery is fairly objective.
Oh, that's what I also liked in Grudge 2020. Some of the imagery, like the woman in the car.
I don't
She
even
got
remember
got.
that.
Yeah, they found the woman in the car in the beginning of the movie, and it's like a car crashed in the forest, and they open the door, and she's all like moldy, and her fucking face is torn almost in half, and then later on, you see her driving, and she's freaking out, pulls it into the woods, crashes in a tree, and like there's a split second of the ghost getting her right there.
That's, I think the most, like, horrific thing to happen in the Annabelle movie was, like, someone's finger gets broken backwards.
Oh, no, yeah, it was the priest, where he's, like, holding the cross, and the demon's like, fuck that, it just blasts him back.
Yeah, like, the most horrific thing was a finger or two getting broken, and that was it. As we're, like, another movie I didn't really like was, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. As much as I didn't really like that movie, it did have some fairly horrific imagery of, like, some spooky shit's getting ya.
The kid running through the hall, and everywhere he turns.
And then it, like, I didn't care that much for it, like, just absorbing him into it, but it was pretty scary, I guess.
You know, yeah, I can see that complaint, because it's not like, blah, she's getting him horribly, but if you think about it,
it's pretty horrific.
He has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
This isn't like, she smashes him into bits in one blow. Yeah. It's like, she slowly pulls him in, and he's fucked.
Yeah. And, like, yeah, that's pretty horrific. I wasn't personally, like, scared by it. I would have preferred something a bit... I'm a gore head. I love me some over-the-top blood and explosive guts and such. But that's just me. I can't hold that against the movie. It was like, what, PG-13?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they couldn't get away with too much of that.
No, that's a solid entry-level horror, I think.
Yeah, oh yeah. I didn't care for it, but that movie did grow on me over time.
I hear a lot of mixed ideas about that movie.
Yeah, it's very middling.
The Jangly Man.
Oh, okay, I forgot about the Jangly Man. Now you're making me hate this movie again.
That's funny, because you're kind of upset after seeing the movie. You're like, that movie's bullshit. Because we didn't get to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is what we showed up at the theater to see.
Yeah, I was real excited to see that.
But when that happened, the Jangly Man came down the chimney or whatever, and the cop just looked at all the body parts, and then the body parts flew together, and he formed the Jangly Man, and he just immediately shoots him in the head like 5 times.
That was pretty good. That was
funny.
But yeah, back on The Grudge 2020...
John Cho was good.
I was thinking of who was the actor that I recognized in that movie, and I was thinking, like, was it Cal Penn? It was like, no, it was the other Harold and Kumar.
That's one thing that movie had going for it a little bit is, yeah, you're dead when you get in the house, but they were kind of playing with, you are dead, but we have a theme of, family and
family.
Optimism in the face of adversity, that kind of shit. And John Cho's like, I'm gonna help this little girl, it's gonna be great. Every time he turns away, the little girl's like throwing up blood.
At the end of the day, it's about family. And that's what makes it so powerful.
Yeah. A family curse. And then the one shot of the woman talking to the guy, and the guy... the guy's wife died or whatever, and he's sitting at the table talking to her, and he's like, she's gone, but I feel like maybe she's still here, and maybe we can all get through this, and it's a real heartfelt moment. Smash cut to her packing her bag, she is out of there.
that was a pretty funny shot.
And then she crashes into the forest.
Yeah. That's about the state of 2020 movies and horror movies of nothing's coming out, and what does come out is not great.
I mean, what was to come out?
Fast and Furious. Delayed indefinitely.
Well, delayed till next year.
I think they said indefinitely. Maybe it was next year, I don't know.
Last I heard was, like, that was one of the first movies I heard they were pushing back because of this virus shit, is, Fast and Furious 9, next year. That's it. We're not even pushing in a few months. Yeah. Next year.
That's pretty much where I am with this whole pandemic thing, is it's like, well, 2020, this year's just kind of off.
Yeah, except some people are still saying,
gotta open back up!
This movie, where we have a tentative release date for July.
Oh,
do you now?
Yeah. Come on, guys.
AMC might go bankrupt, I hear.
Of course, everything's going bankrupt in this shit.
You had billions of dollars in popcorn sales, but no money to recover from this.
Yeah. Fuck popcorn sales, man. Popcorn is, like, fucking free.
Yeah, they literally pay pennies.
Pennies for bags of it!
And sell it for 1,000% markup.
Ridiculous.
Fuck the theaters.
Fuck capitalism. Eat the rich! Kill the police!
Slowly
burn it down!
Slowly torture the rich until they give us all their money, and then kill them.
No, see, we have a line. There are 2 lines. One for the rich, one for the police. You get your name called up, you get in your next in line, then you're given the option, give up all your money, except for a fair amount, and the cops, like, give up your position of power, and if they refuse, we just kill them. Simple as that. If you're not going to give it to us, we'll just kill you and take it. Pretty simple solution, if you ask me.
I don't endorse killing.
What? Why not? What's wrong with you? Come on. Gotta get something done.
Kill the wicked.
Yeah, I just said that!
I said kill the wicked.
I just said that! The rich and the police are the wicked. Kill them all.
Okay, TV shows.
I've been watching Narcos. Drugs. Pablo Escobar. What do you know about him?
Drug dealer.
Sure.
Drug cartels?
Yes. I recommend that you don't look into it in any form. Just watch it. Well, yeah, because it's based
real life spoilers.
It's based on real events. Like, all the events that happen are real. It's just the characters and, like, a lot of the dialogue and stuff that's been fictionalized, and, like, they combined a few people into certain characters.
A lot of the American government being innocent about it.
Oh, no, they're all over the American government.
Oh, they are?
Oh, yeah, it's a great show. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend. I'm almost done with season 1, and apparently the first 3 seasons are all about Pablo, and then it's over, and then it's Narcos Mexico. I don't know much about that one.
sequel?
It's like a sequel, but I think it like came out around the same time. It's just like a different story in that same style, like real events.
CSI Miami.
Yes, it's real events that actually happened, but are being fictionalized to a degree. All the events, like I said, are real. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, very, very good show.
Speaking of drug dealers in the Mexican cartel, I just finished season 3, I think, of... Damn it, I'm trying to think of the title now because I got the other title I think of. Banking Bad. It's Ozarks. Yeah, Ozarks.
I started watching that when I was drunk.
Yeah, it's, I don't think you want to be drunk watching that show.
It was a bad idea to watch it while drunk. I'll say that.
It's a lot of the characters standing around and being like, what the fuck, is this guy lying to me? And then maybe something will happen every other episode.
Yeah, all I remember from my drunk watch, I only got like halfway through the first episode, but he was like not cheating on his wife, but like thinking about it.
Oh, Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The setting is Jason Bateman is an accountant, and it turns out he's skimming money off of whatever company he works for, which is like working for the Mexican drug cartel. And so he like cuts a deal on the spot, talks his way out of it to like become their official money launderer and move to the Ozarks, which is in Arkansas? No, Missouri. It's one of those states.
Missouri.
So yeah, he's like down on the bayou on the swamps with this whole family, Laura Linney and his 2 kids. Was he born
on the bayou?
No.
Oh.
But Laura Linney...
Get on board with this then.
It's basically Breaking Bad, but instead of cooking up drugs, he's cooking the books.
Cook them books!
And he's like, oh,
alright, question
for my family.
How does he cook the books without burning the pages? Hey!
Got me there. But the whole thing is, in Breaking Bad, it was mostly Walt, right?
Yeah.
He was the one, like, I'm really getting into this.
And he
like,
kept pushing further and further.
Until he became, like, the top drug dealer or whatever. And then Jesse, he was, like, pulling him along with him.
Business.
And Skyler, I know you hate Skyler.
Everybody rightfully hates Skyler because that character is poorly written.
She made in universe, though, she made good points of, you're fucking up our whole family by doing this shit.
Yep.
And I don't like any of it, but then eventually she broke bad too. She went along with it. So the shows are kind of similar in that respect.
Spoilers.
Except they're Laura Linney's way more likable.
Well, yeah. I mean,
the kids, they're kind of getting in on it too. So it's like the whole family, they're working for this drug cartel and doing all their shit, talking about, I don't know how this bank stuff works, but he's doing something with the numbers.
Yeah, he says he does the numbers.
About, the Moore's law of the large numbers says...
Oh, well, this percentage of this percentage...
He'll clack on a keyboard and I guess he did it. It's just like they say, oh, this meth is pure meth.
Whoa.
99% pure.
That's the purest meth I've ever seen.
I've never taken meth, but they're telling me it's pure, so...
Yeah.
Good show, I recommend it.
Yeah, I'm gonna start over the first episode.
Laura Linney, star player. Keep your eye out for her. Okay. She's always good.
I'll keep my eye.
I love Jason Bateman. He's great. But Laura Linney is like, wow, she's really a shocker.
Yeah. Tiger King. That's the thing everyone's talking about. Everyone on that show's crazy.
Yeah, send them to jail, all of them.
Just actual criminals.
Maybe some of the workers, they could get a break.
Yeah.
But, like, some of the lower-level workers, like Saf, or the one blonde-haired guy.
I love that blonde-haired guy with the glasses.
Rickham, or one of the other guys who got the Hummer sold to him, the stolen Hummer.
I don't remember.
But, yeah, most everyone else... No, send him to jail.
Joe needs to rot in prison.
They're abused. Yeah, Joe.
Fuck Carol Baskins.
Jeff Lowe. He's evil.
Oh yeah, that guy's just a fucking criminal.
Harem guy. Lord Bagavon or whatever. Doc Antle.
Doc Antle, yeah. Fuck that guy.
Bagavon, Doc Antle.
That guy needs to go down.
Carol's bad too.
Carol is bad. So Carol is like probably doing the least amount of actual criminal stuff.
Well.
But I hate her the most.
See, yeah, that's interesting because she is very, very easily hateable, and the show is kind of built around like, look at this fucking bitch. that's the advertising, the marketing of the show.
It's Carol Baskins.
Do you guys want to play Rock Band?
We're busy.
Okay.
Carol Baskin's a bitch.
Yeah, she is a bitch.
That bitch.
She deserves to rot in jail too because she was doing some shit with those tigers.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, at the on all the tiers of all the bad people, she's like not as bad as
she's not.
She is bad. Let's start there. She is bad for sure.
Bad person should go to jail.
Then damn, I would put Tiger King himself, Joe Exotic, like, almost anywhere above her, because the stuff he's done...
Oh, yeah. He's done way more direct criminal activity and should be in prison for it.
And I would kind of put Jeff Lowe above... I would put Jeff Lowe above Joe Exotic.
I think that guy's done more shit than we've ever seen, or, like, that we've seen of him.
And he was clearly scheming with his other fat fuck friend to...
murder people.
Joe. Oh, no, not that part. He was using his friend to say, oh, yeah, remember when Joe gave you that money to go kill Carol Baskins?
Yeah.
And, like... Yeah, he probably did.
But
that. He probably was going to do it, too, and just sneak down on the money.
I think that guy literally said he was going to do it until he, like, got it out of it. Or
what's he doing now?
Probably on a fucking train somewhere, vagabonding his way around.
Fuck everyone in there. The animals, they really do not touch on the animals as much as you think they would.
Yeah,
it's more about exotic animals. Yeah. It's about the people. And I get that, like, oh, that makes an interesting drama. What about the
that is
lives?
The story.
These animals are getting fucked.
Yeah.
All of them. Joe said it, like, in the last episode. Oh, I had these 2 monkeys in a cage. Cages next to each other for, like, 10 years. Then I sold them to someone else. First day they came out, started hugging each other. Do I feel bad about that? Not really.
Yeah, everyone in that show is a bad person for... Even the lower level people are bad people for, like, turning a blind eye to a lot of it.
Yeah, no, a lot of them were in there for, like... more than 10 years.
And years.
One guy was working with him for like 20 years.
Yeah, we haven't seen the last special episode that came out. Apparently Joel McHale does the interviews.
Yeah, it was an after special show.
Yeah, I heard people were really upset at Joel McHale for interviewing the way Joel McHale interviews.
Which was, like being snarky or
being a shithead to him. Did you ever watch the Game Awards year that he co-hosted with Jeff Keighley?
No, but I heard about it.
It was... the most entertaining fucking thing ever. He was just being a shithead, shitting on literally everything happening, and you could just see Jeff Keighley hate him more and more throughout the night, but he just kept going.
I mean, that's kind of Joel McHale's shtick.
That's his thing, he's a shithead.
Be an asshole.
Yeah, like, have people not seen The Soup?
Have people not seen Community?
Like, it's his gimmick. It's what he does. But maybe he's really shitty. I don't know. We'll see when we watch it. Maybe we'll watch it tonight.
Supernatural.
Oh, Supernatural final season. Such a good season so far. Some of the best episodes.
Top 3 seasons.
Oh, man. See, the hard part about that is that the middle seasons all kind of run together in my mind.
Okay, wait. Middle seasons as in 6 through 10?
6 through...
Because we're on season 15
I would
right
say,
now.
like, 6 through 12 all kind of blend together in my mind.
That's fair. Those last few ones really do, because they're kind of related.
I'll say my favorite arcs, the whole first Yellow-Eyed Demon arc it's really just a well-done TV show.
Man, that's classic TV now.
Oh, yeah, it's old school shit. It's like 15 years old.
Damn, that's like mid to late 2000s.
I think it was early 2000s when it started.
Well, if we're in season 15 right now, in 2020, it would have been like 2004 or 5?
Yeah. I think 4 or 5 sounds about right. Because I remember when I first started watching it, the way I contextualized it in my mind was like Devil May Cry and Resident Evil 4. Because like, Monster Hunting.
At the time.
Yes.
I thought you were saying like in similarity.
No.
What?
Just like Monster Hunter and then like Resident Evil with guns and such.
If there's anything Supernatural doesn't really do, it's well choreographed fight scenes.
Exactly, yeah.
They're mostly brawling these monsters, and they are more skilled than America's top soldiers.
And Britain's top soldiers. They're the most skilled individuals in the world.
The U.S. government came after them in one season and put them on some training camp or whatever to take them out. And they rolled right through everyone.
They just fucking
the two of them.
Second favorite, I don't know if it's second favorite, but another favorite arc would be the Men of Letters arc, where they got their bunker.
Yeah.
I really liked that whole little bit.
I feel like, just where we are right now, I feel like that didn't have as much payoff as it could have.
It did not.
Like, Sam did get his day in the limelight with that one episode where it was the British Men of Letters.
Yeah.
And I think it was like the CIA or whatever, the American intelligence, and they were like, oh, what do we do? We don't know what we're doing. They're shitting their pants. And then Sam was in the room and stepped up and said, hey, let's do all this, this, and this. And then after that, it just comes back to the boys.
Yeah. It's always, like, my biggest problem with Supernatural as just a property and show is every attempt they make to enlarge the universe, it ends up feeling smaller.
That's because it always comes back to it's Sam and Dean, Castiel's there.
Castiel's a main character. Jack is a main character now, but he was only in the last few seasons.
He's like the fourth guy.
Yeah.
Crowley was there for a bit.
Miss Crowley. Crowley is probably my favorite character in that whole show.
He sacrificed
himself. Rowena.
He sacrificed himself to help take out Michael.
Yes, in the Apocalypse World.
Oh yeah, Apocalypse Michael.
Apocalypse World was a pretty fun arc.
Yeah. No, that reminds me of mine. Season 7, the Leviathan.
The Leviathan season. I like the Leviathan season, but I definitely see why people don't.
Why?
It's because it's very different. It's a random new concept thrown in there that was never foreshadowed or hinted at before.
No shit. That was season 7, which they only had season 5 planned out.
Also, I think a lot of the season 6 is bad.
Yes,
like that's a bad
first one back, completely made up.
Yeah, like they had nothing planned. The writing was just really sloppy. The episodes weren't particularly
fun.
Alphas
or something.
Was that Alphas or
Monsters?
which one was Soulless Sam?
I think that was season 6.
Soulless Sam was the worst. Yeah, because he got out of fighting Satan.
Oh, and his grandpa came back to life.
That whole arc was bad.
But I like
that was the Alphas. That was the Alpha season.
The Leviathans, I really appreciated that season because, one, here's a new thing, brand new, we haven't,
wildly different.
Yeah, wildly different. The threat was the Leviathans who, it's an ancient beast, whatever monster type people. God created separately from the demons before, ancient times, whatever. Who knows what he was doing back then?
Essentially Cthulhu's.
And they were stronger than demons. Demons at that point are whatever.
Demons are fucking putties from Power Rangers.
Demons are the mooks. But there's one season where Crowley's in a limo and he's trying to make a deal with Dick Roman, the Leviathan leader. And he's like, oh, he's what we'll do with, he's what we're gonna do with hell, he's our plans. And Dick's like, you know what? Get out of here. Get out of my face. I don't want to deal with you. I would come down to hell and personally scrub all the demons from existence, but I got better things to do, so get out of my fucking face.
I like how much of a joke hell has become, just in general.
Yeah, when Crowley got in charge, first thing he did was change it so it's just people in a line.
Yeah, that was great. Supernatural just has so many fantastic concepts. I remember when there was the magical item, auction show, and Sam picked up the Thor's hammer. That was fucking great.
Yeah, and he picked it up to, help beat the bad guys or whatever, and the guy who owned/bought it was like, can I have it back? And then he was about to hand it back, and he's like, wait a minute, you bought this for, 7 virgin hymens or whatever. Where'd you get them? And the guy's like, it shrugs, and Sam just smashes him right there.
Oh, it show's so good.
Ooh, Kevin the Prophet.
I love Kevin. Kevin's great.
He came back for a second.
He comes back every now and then, pops in for a cameo.
God.
Chuck. That motherfucker.
What a dick.
That's probably a huge spoiler if people are actually going to watch the show, but fucking Chuck.
Spoilers, Chuck's an asshole. Don't trust him.
Chuck's an asshole and Chuck is God. And he's shitty.
Yeah, I had a lot of wishes a few seasons ago for the show, and they've actually delivered on a lot of them in some way.
Absolutely.
I was hoping they need to get alternate Sams and Deans in there. They got them. The most recent alternate Sam and Dean.
I love those too.
Yeah, they were rich and fancy. They had a world hunting league. They got paid to hunt monsters.
Yeah.
That was a line in the show. Wait, you get paid to hunt monsters? And they're like, yeah.
Because Sam and Dean have credit card scams they're always running.
Get their money.
Yeah, that's good shit.
They don't have anything really except for that sweet base.
I love that base. The base is my favorite part of that show.
Yeah, they finally got a static location.
They got a static location. It looks cool. And they all got their rooms. It's just a fun little place. Got all the swords and shit in the background. Books. I like the look of it. Yeah, that show's coming up on its end. Been watching that shit for
15 years.
15 fucking years. Oh, man.
Spent the last 10 years thinking, is the show gonna end?
It was on the verge of getting canceled so many times, and it got to season 15. 15 seasons of this shit! And many of them are terrible.
The episode where they go to the universe without magic.
You mean the real world, where they're in the roles of their actors?
I'm Canadian.
Oh, finally starting to feel like one of the guys.
LOL.
Immediately gets killed. Oh, what a show. I guess we can talk about some video games.
What's new with you?
Animal Crossing and Resident Evil 3.
Oh, that one's pretty popular.
Resident Evil 3 is a real good game. Animal Crossing is the game of the year. And that's all there is to it.
I hear good things.
Yeah, I bought it for you.
I'm gonna play it.
When?
When I get around to it.
You have nothing but time now!
I just did my taxes and filed for unemployment. So my schedule's cleared up.
Yeah, there's really not much to say about Animal Crossing other than that it's the best Animal Crossing.
I see what everyone's doing and it looks fun.
It's good fun shit. I'm working on my island.
Custom skins and shit.
Yeah, I got my own book's cover put into the game. That's pretty cool. There's a website where you can just scan in any image and QR codes, scan it in. So I've done a bunch of that shit. A bunch of memes all over my walls because I'm a degenerate. But RE3 is a really good game. You haven't finished that yet. I need to get back to that. It is fantastic. It's a fantastic horror action game that is maybe the worst remake of any game ever.
Really?
Because it's like almost entirely original. Like outside of Jill Valentine fighting Nemesis in a city and Carlos is there, that's about where the similarities end. Like the character names is basically it.
Well, what even happens in the original?
In the original 3, Jill Valentine fights Nemesis in a city.
Well, I mean, what else?
But, like, they cut out multiple areas, they cut out certain enemies, they cut out, like, multiple different, I already said areas, like, the whole clock tower's gone, the park is gone, it's significantly shorter than RE2 or even just regular RE3.
So you think they rushed it?
It was definitely rushed. I don't know about rushed, but like it came out less than a year after
could have
RE2.
spent more time putting those things in there and just chose not to.
Yeah, they wanted to get the game out like a year after exactly. And you know, it's still a great game. Still a fantastic survival horror game.
Not as good as it could be.
Not as good as it could be, and not as good as RE2. But that's a very bad comparison because RE2 Remake is like one of the best games ever made. Not as good as original Remake.
Well, that's probably why 3 Remake doesn't seem so good.
No, it's also just like it's a lot more linear. They took out a lot of those areas that you're going to be going back and forth around in. And yeah, it is a lot shorter. I don't want to say it's easier. Because you have the dodge
move.
The dodge move makes certain things, especially when you get the hang of it, you can just glide through that game. But that's why they added multiple extra difficulties that remix the enemy areas. But some of those difficulties are kind of bad. Like, I want the remixed enemy layouts without the busted ass difficulty, where it legitimately feels unplay tested. Like,
what, they have too much health or something?
Enemies have too much health and they kill you in like one hit. And it's real, like, if you're not perfect dodging every single time, you're just not getting through that game. And like, I get that's the challenge, but I would like to have those remixed enemy areas with the regular difficulty, so I could just play them like the regular game. I've been speedrunning it a lot though. Just, I think my best time is like 1 hour 50 minutes. I'm not the best at it, but it's a pretty good time. I'm pretty happy with that. A lot of the unlockables are really cool. Like, one of the weapons you can unlock is a knife that gets superheated, and it's called the Hot Dogger. So you can set zombies on fire and shit. The dodge makes the knife super useful in this game when you're actually struggling to maintain ammo and shit. But for the most part, it's pretty easy on regular difficulties. Like, I only say that because original RE3 is like pretty fucked hard. Like, so many elements of it are random. So like, if you get the Magnum, you're gonna want to just start that run over, because that's useless. You want the grenade launcher. If you get the grenade launcher, that's a good run.
I don't know the context for any of this.
Because if you get the Magnum, that means that you have this certain layout, which means you're going to get worse everything going forward. But if you get the grenade launcher, you're just going to be fucking...
Oh, so it's predetermined based on...
Yes, it's predetermined based on several different things, but it's random which one it will be and, like, which puzzle solutions are which. That randomness is what stops me from replaying the original so much, is because it's like, you basically have to memorize 3 or 4 games instead of just one. It's still good, though. It's still a great game. It's the last escape. I really like Jill. I like new Jill. A lot of people are complaining that she looks like mannish or something. I don't see that. I like her personality.
Looks like a woman to me.
Looks like a lady! I also recently finally got around to playing Evil Within 2, which is another just really, really good survival horror game. Kind of goes down in the last third or so, but the first majority is a fairly open world, good stealth game, great mechanics.
A lot of walking around, and then something scary's happening around you.
That's only like the first intro bit. After that, it's a lot more just like, you know, you go through the areas, you shoot the enemies, spooky shit. Scary!
That's not scary.
There's scary stuff that happens while you're doing that. And it's just fun. It's a fun shooter. It feels good to play. It's a good stealth game. A lot of
the killer mechanic with his box shit.
Oh yeah, that guy's great, Stefano. He has a camera where he'll like take pictures of things and they'll be like stuck in a time loop going over and over. They do a lot of cool shit with that.
And he chooses to kill people.
Yeah, because that's his art. He's killing people and then having it preserved forever.
You
Visuals.
like slap someone on the butt and take a picture, and then you'll have it's stuck in a time loop of being like, someone slapped my butt.
Yeah, they do a lot of cool shit with that where he like throws a grenade and then takes a picture of it just as it's about to explode. So like if you go into that square, you get hit with the grenade. Yeah, fantastic visuals throughout that game. Like I said, the last third is not the best. It's playable. It's just like enemy, like go through this area and kill all the enemies. Not like cool sneak around, new enemies, hard stealth, scary segments. But it's good. It's a good game. I recommend it. Don't recommend the first one. Don't play Evil Within 1 because the story barely even connects to it. Like it does not add up.
Is that the one where you could do Connect?
I don't know if there was Connect.
Something else. Rise of Nightmare?
Rise of Nightmare was the Connect game that you had to like raise one arm to walk forward, and it was super unresponsive. Then they eventually put out a HD version of it, or like HD whatever, that lets you use controller, and apparently that's now a fairly solid survival horror game. It's got some interesting ideas. I've seen full playthroughs of that, but the Connect shit on that was fucking terrible. It was an abomination, really. That's about all I have to say on video games. You been playing anything else?
Yeah. 2 things I've been playing is Ultimate Alliance 3, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I keep getting it mixed up with Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah, and you keep saying that, and I keep getting excited for a second, and then it's
you
like...
haven't played that game in years.
Of course, that's why I get excited!
And you were talking shit all over it when we were playing.
Well, that game's a fucking mess!
Saying a Super Skrull doesn't look cool. Fuck you.
Super Skrull does not look cool.
You don't even like any of the characters, really.
I don't like most of the Marvel characters, but guess what? I love Capcom.
You know what's great about this game? It's all Marvel characters.
See, that's the worst.
And they just released, like, the final bit of DLC shit. So, like, all the characters are there. Yeah. But I have to go unlock them, fill all these missions and shit.
Fuck that. If you paid for them, just give them to me.
I mean, I don't mind unlockable characters. It's just not, like, linear, you know? Like, I can't just go through and, like, they unlock one by one.
I don't mind unlockable characters, but if I paid for them, I want those characters.
That's a whole other issue. But Fantastic Four, they're in the game.
Oh, wow, everyone's favorite, The Thing.
I think Dr. Doom is in there.
Invisible Woman.
She does shit, dude. She's really powerful.
Uh-huh.
If you have fucking force fields.
Yeah, I know about comic books. I just don't care for them.
The other thing I've been playing is One Step from Eden. It's that Mega Man Battle Network style grid action game.
Yeah, I played a little bit of that when you brought it over. It's pretty cool.
It's It's fucking Mega Man Battle Network.
I
love that game.
It made me just want to play Battle Network instead of more of it. But
Honestly, I think
gotten
you would
around to
prefer it over Battle Network because it doesn't have any of the story. Yeah, there's no story. In this game,
I can
for
skip
real.
a Mega Man story. I just want.
You probably should in most cases.
I want that gameplay with like a more RPG continuous focus instead of like the random aspect of it.
That's the worst part of the game for me. One Step from Eden is you're just going through, you die, you start it over. You don't get to keep
roguelite.
The planning part, there's less planning and more like, oh shit, that thing, I guess I'll do that this run.
Yeah.
And Battle Network's like, yeah, you can plug in your shit. There's like a puzzle thing where you program your upgrades. So you're putting literal Tetris blocks on a grid that affects you in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you got +5 Buster power, or like you could use these kind of chips.
Yeah. I think I downloaded like Battle Network 4 or 5 or something. One of them for the DS. I'm gonna play that at some point.
For the DS, that's probably 5.
It's probably 5 then.
That's the one where it comes with both versions of the game.
Yeah, I think I got that one.
And slightly better improved audio and graphics.
Sure.
Very marginally improved.
Wasn't there one of them where like the second screen was like behind Mega Man's back or something?
Oh yeah, no, the DS one's it's Mega Man's on the screen in the overworld, and you jack in and you're like digitized into the game, and then you're controlling him.
Jack in.
And then on the touchscreen is like, oh, it's your other guys. You can tag them out by switching, like touching them. And then when he's got like a certain state going on, you can say, "Go on, Mega Man," into the microphone, and then he'll power up. But you can just literally blow into it.
Couldn't you press a button for that?
I'm not sure. It's been a while. But I remember sitting in high school, 18 years old, my senior year, in English class, just playing under the table, and they were like, lean down to blow in the microphone.
Yeah, so I guess we'll talk on one last thing. We've recently gotten back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! That was how we met originally, so it's like...
Well, it's like the anime club.
Well, we met in the anime club, but we only really started hanging out because we were playing Yu-Gi-Oh! At the anime club. We talked about us meeting on one of the old podcasts that we did of this, so we won't go back into that. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in a good place right now. Master Rule 5 has removed the thing I hated about Master Rule 4. The link restriction. So just real quick for people who don't know, if there's an error, like you had to special summon from the extra zones, which is 2 separate small zones, not in your main zones.
If you special summon
from your extra deck,
it has to go into one of those 2 zones.
Unless a link monster has a link marker pointing at one of the other zones, then you can special summon from your extra deck to there. Master Rule 5 just gets rid of that stupid restriction. Never cared for that, just forced you to use link monsters. Not my thing.
Well, yeah, no, it was good for link monsters.
It was.
But all the other monsters, you special summon, you fusion summon from your extra deck. It has to be in that zone or connected to a link monster.
Yeah.
So you can't spam your extra deck.
I like the mechanics of link monsters. I don't like the restriction of having to use them as the thing. And Master Rule 5 just fixes that. So now you can just synchro spam like you always could. It's back to the good old days. What decks are you running right now? What are your main decks?
My main decks are heroes of some varieties. I've got elemental heroes. It's like elemental hero / masked hero.
Yeah.
One of my
well, that's the whole thing. You gotta have Dark Claw.
Decks.
You gotta play Dark Claw if you're playing heroes.
Well, honestly, I don't play him much.
You should turn 1 be playing Dark Claw as much as you can, because that card is busted.
Yeah, no, I mean his once a turn. If you add a card to your deck, I can banish a random card from your hand. That's good.
That's okay.
People are searching their decks all the time these days.
Deck search and graveyard play are the current meta, and he gets around both of those.
Oh yeah, banishes anything.
Anything sent to the graveyard is
anything
banished
sent
instead.
to the opponent's graveyard.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of other heroes I love using.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, the masked heroes, they're basically common riders.
They literally are.
They're fusions of, instead of using 2 monsters, you use a mask change card to turn 1 monster into the fusion monster, and then you can switch them out almost anytime you want.
My main deck is zombies, Baller Rock focused zombies, where his main thing is having Zombie World on the field. So all monsters in the field and graveyard are zombies, and then he can negate and banish zombie monsters. And if there's a field spell in the graveyard, or a field spell on play, he comes back from the graveyard every standby phase.
He was born in the graveyard.
Merely adopted it. Fuck, that movie's
Is
like...
it based on Balladrock, your deck?
Yeah, it didn't used to be, but now my deck is almost entirely focused around getting my baller drops out.
You went through a whole...
Oh, it was an arc.
A whole thing of zombies. Like you had Red Eyes in there.
When we first got back into it, I was focused on Red Eye Zombie Dragon. Then I was like, oh, well, there's some good zombie synchros, so I'll put those in there. And then it's like, ooh, these Shiranuis are pretty strong, so I'll have all these synchro Shiranui ones. And I still do use those. But then it just became very apparent that Baller Truck is the best card in that deck by a mile. Like, he should probably be limited in some way. Because he has, like, 3 effects that are all really good. He has Banishing, Negation, and coming back from the graveyard every turn. Like, he has too much. But I'm not complaining. He's my key card. I also run Crystal Beasts casually.
You ain't doing shit.
My Crystal Beasts aren't keeping up with nothing. I also, similarly, my Ghost Tricks that I love, not doing much. I also have a Synchro deck that's okay depending on the hand.
Your Ghost Tricks are routinely beaten by me.
Yeah, your decks are just better, except for your Destiny Hero deck, which it's pretty even.
That's one of my weaker decks.
That's your weakest deck by a lot.
I got Ultra Athletes, which...
They're very good.
I can switch them out to special summon. So, like, one's on the field, I get one on my hand, just switch them out.
Yeah.
And I can do it, like, in battle phases sometimes. I don't even have the key card, UA Stadium.
Yeah.
That works off that. I'm ordering it, it's coming.
Don't know why you didn't order that originally.
Even with these base cards, because it's just a bunch of monsters and a few spells and traps and not a huge amount of support... I'm routinely able to beat you with them because if I can get the one guy out first, then I can get them all on the field.
Yeah.
And they have good coverage. They're really a team.
They are. They're a team. They got like you're planning out your sports game, doing your field stuff. Yeah, my Ghost Tricks are pretty bad, but I love them so much. And I did just get 2 of the best cards in the archetype, so maybe it'll turn around a little bit. Maybe I'll be able to do at least a bit more than sometimes beat your Destiny Hero deck. Yeah. Duel Links, that exists. I was way into Duel Links for a while. That was what originally really got me back in. But once I started playing the game more actually, like, with the physical cards or the actual rules, it just became it's too limiting. It's too limiting for the fun.
3 zones.
It's not even just the 3 zone, it's the card pool. Like,
you have to unlock it.
Well, you have to unlock everything, and they don't even have Xseed monsters yet. Like,
what?
They're not even to Zexel. They had a Dark Side of Dimensions whole thing come out first instead. So it's just so far behind that there's no real way to enjoy it for me right now.
One thing I'll say about Duel Links is that game is bloated as fuck. There's so much in the game.
That game,
which, good or bad, there's just a lot of shit in there. I tried to turn it on, and I'm tapping through like 20 different things.
Yeah.
Just trying to get to the game, and I don't even have a lot of cards yet.
Yeah, that's as a game, it's very good. You can unlock a good amount of cards by just playing. It has the best single-player content of any of these online card game things. Because, it has, like, the auto-duel, so you can just, like, automatically duel AI over and over. And, yeah, it feels really snappy and responsive, but it's just so limited. The card pool's limited, everything about that game is just limited. And it's unfortunate because it is a very solid and snappy playing game with a fuck ton of content, like every series pretty much, except Zexel, Arc V, Vrains, and now Sevens.
Like half the series.
Like half the series. Each with characters you can level up, unlock cards, and all sorts of abilities with doing. The skill system's fun. There's tons of puzzles. There's tons of AI shit to do. There's events that are happening like every week. There's every few weeks I think like once a month they put out a new set. So like it is getting more content as it goes, but it's compared to the actual TCG, it's nothing.
I much prefer Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, which we just started playing, is fantastic. Fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh! Simulator. It could be a little clearer in like what you're doing to like click to attack and stuff. I would prefer to be able to just drag it like you do in Duel Links.
I would love that.
But maybe it'll get upgraded down the line.
Some things feel kind of different. Like I was trying to summon a Link monster, but it said I couldn't. I had to use 3, but it was a 2 Link monster.
Yeah, I'm very uncertain on all that because my Shiranui Supremacy Saga or whatever has like it says 2+ monsters,
the 2+ one,
but it's a Link 3 monster, so I think I have to sacrifice 3.
But I thought the Link 3 that refers to the amount of links it has.
And that's what I don't know. I think we just have a misunderstanding of how Link monsters work, or maybe the game just has weird shit. I don't know.
Always up to question.
Yeah.
Good card pool, though.
Well, it has all the cards.
It's got the cards.
It even has the Japanese cards.
I'm throwing in like $20 masked heroes that are kicking ass.
They're fucking strong. Fucking what, Liquid Soldier or was it Solid Soldier?
It's like $40.
Yeah, it's like a $40 card, and you can run 3 of them.
I ain't playing
for free.
that shit in real life.
Yeah, fucking. Yeah.
Well, speaking of card games, we did play a little Magic Arena.
A little bit. That game is solid.
How would you compare Duel Links to Arena?
I would say that Duel Links it benefits from being a more simplified version of the game with lower life points and fewer things to do, just for the sake of online play and like people not taking forever.
Speed it up.
But as a digital Magic the Gathering simulator,
card game.
It is very solid, very snappy, very fun to play.
How snappy was it for you?
I was drunk when we were playing, so I don't know.
I was playing on a laptop, and it's like chugging. There's a lot of unnecessary 3D graphics.
Yeah, it runs pretty well on this computer.
Like, on it should run on a phone. Yeah. Like, just looking at it, like, oh, this is made for any sort of device.
Yeah, it feels like they're working on that.
Yeah, they said they're finally getting to it this year. But the card pool is limited to, back to a certain point. It's like that standard thing of, here's the current set, and there's even, I think they have they have like 8 to 10 sets that I've seen. And like half of them are blacked out, like you can't use these in quote-unquote standard. And that's just how Magic does with the rotating card sets. So like older cards you can't use.
Yeah, that is one thing I do like about Yu-Gi-Oh! And I also dislike it about Yu-Gi-Oh! I like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic in very separate ways. The ways that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not similar to Magic are things I do like and don't like. Like, the ban list is a good idea of, oh, well, this card's just too strong, gotta be banned.
That in both of them.
But I like the rotating block system of Magic because it makes it like, this card wouldn't be good at all if it was like in Legacy or whatever, where every card is useful. But when you're in this restricted block, this card becomes way better than it would be.
Yeah, and cards are specifically designed for, here are all the cards we're using, this chunk here, so this card is designed for this.
Yeah. But in Yu-Gi-Oh! I also like being able to just have my deck, make sure nothing on the ban list is in there, and then just go play it in any tournament, with no matter how old the cards are. But at the same time,
check the whole ban list.
Well, yeah, but obviously, as I just said,
scroll through
make sure it doesn't have anything in the ban list, and you can just go play. Probably gonna get your ass fucked doing so, but you can do it. You can't go in there with a fucking Magic deck from 2004 and play in a tournament.
Well, I personally prefer to play with any card I have.
Yeah,
which rubs some people the wrong way when I try to use joke cards.
I understand the joke cards. But yeah, you gotta let them know first that you're running some joke cards.
I'm thinking about making a whole joke deck.
That's probably your best bet, is to not have them in the rest, but have a focused deck on it.
I like a good regular deck with whatever cards, and then throw a single joke card in. Like the one that says, target player outside the game becomes part of your team. They become your teammate, and you like split all your deck and shit between them.
That's funny, but then like, you know, people actually have to play this game.
Yeah, which is why I wouldn't use that card if like your mom or someone was right there.
Yeah,
like, she's not going to jump into this game.
No. I think we're about out of things to talk about now.
Really? Scroll down a little bit. You don't want to talk about that Tekken patch?
The Tekken patch kind of ruined the game a little bit. Tekken 7.
In what way?
So they ruined sidestepping because Harada has...
Oh, the up and down the D-pad?
Yeah, the sidestep movement in the 3D plane. Because they shifted the development team to a bunch of new people at Namco. And it's just, they're not good at balancing this game. The first sign was Leroy being butt-fuck broken. And then they put out Fakumram, and he's not broken, but the patch that came with him just... It really messed up the flow of the game. Like, it's still fun to play for sure, but it's competitively a lot worse than it used to be. Negan was never good. But no, now Negan's a lot better because the way you dealt with Negan was sidestepping. Sidestepping just made Negan nothing. But now that sidestepping isn't as good, he's a lot better. Because he can just sit there and keep you in stunlock. Or
You're in Pee-Pants City.
Got your shitting pants on. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Oh, speaking of Walking Dead, did I mention I was watching The Kingdom?
Yeah, not on this show, but you mentioned it to me.
Yeah, I've been watching The Kingdom. You can, chop this wherever.
No, I'm not gonna edit this.
Okay, we can edit that part of me talking about it.
Nope.
Okay,
It's all in, baby!
I've been watching The Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's like a period drama / zombies set in ancient Korea. Not sure which region.
Sure.
Yeah, zombies show up. Some prince is like, whoa, there's a sickness going around, and there's a palace coup going on. So some queen's trying to take over as ruler, and the zombies are pretty interesting. They're running around crazy, all bloody and shit, and soot all over their faces. And when the sun comes out, they're crawling under everything to get away. They don't like the sun, I guess.
Ha ha ha.
And it's yeah, it just ramps up from there. And they have a few people have rifles, and cannons do exist, so that's level technology. But mostly, people all in the country are starving, there's, food, a lot of politics going on in the show.
Yeah. I've heard good things about it. I haven't seen any of it, but I've heard.
I recommend it. It's pretty... It's 6 episodes a season.
Oh, that's good.
Pretty
that's
short.
good.
There's 2 seasons right now.
That's good.
With all this actual real-life virus shit, who knows when season 3 is going to come out. But they teased at it.
There's another short show, Neon Joe. It's only 10 episodes total, and it got canceled. Neon Joe Werewolf Hunter. Very dumb show. Hemp. Yeah, I'm about done with this. About out of energy talking.
Nothing else?
Nothing much coming to
What are your
mind.
plans? What's your 5-year plan right now?
5-year plan is to put out a book a year.
What's your book this year?
Book this year is Armored Hunter Private Eyes. I'm about 11 to 12,000 into the current draft. I had to go back and rewrite some stuff to get my current plans working better, so I'm going back and forth a little bit.
Release date?
Release date currently is September 11th.
Does that tie into anything?
Nope! I just thought it would be funny. Yeah, I don't know. Probably it'll be out around September, or September to December, that area. I plan to have a draft finished by June. That's my plan. Then I'm probably going to have to do a whole rewrite of it, and hopefully I can get that done before the end of the year. What about you?
Plans-wise, I'm hoping I don't fucking starve.
Well, that's, yeah.
Because what if this food distribution is, totally disrupted?
Yeah.
What if the workers get sick? What if this shit spreads everywhere? I'm currently unemployed, so...
Well, if we have food,
money.
We'll give you some. But if it comes down to a distribution thing, cannibalism.
There's not enough people around.
There's
you're
enough
gonna
for
starve
me.
At some point.
There's enough for me.
How many people can you survive off of?
I mean, we gotta have... as long as electricity keeps up, you can put it in the freezer.
Oh, yeah, there you go. You're assuming electricity will keep up. What's your electricity plan for?
I mean, I could get a bike. Get a bike hooked up.
Get a bike?
Get a bike hooked up.
To what?
To the refrigerator.
How would you do that? What connectors would you use?
I'd use, those jump starter cables from a car. Just hook them right up.
Just plug it right into
Plug it right in, just slot them in. Works like fucking magic. I've seen TV, that's how it works. I'm basically Bear Grylls.
Drinking your own piss?
I'll drink my own piss if I have to.
Your piss would probably taste terrible. Stuff you drink.
Maybe it'll get me drunk.
I've tasted my piss before. didn't taste as bad as I thought it would.
That's a good place. That's a place to end this one.
I drink a lot of juice though, so it's pretty sweet.
Yeah. I don't drink as much soda as I used to. Just in general.
You were drinking soda yesterday.
It was Easter. It was a celebration. And like I said, I don't drink as much.
Fuck Jesus.
Yeah, fuck this
Fuck
dude.
God.
What is this? What has he ever done for us? Died for our sins? Then why am I still going to hell?
Are you?
Probably.
For being part gay.
Yeah, I'm half gay, and I did literally just say fuck Jesus, so that's probably not helping my case.
Anyone who would send you to hell just for saying fuck you, I don't think you should trust that person.
No, I'm not a big
any
fan
sort
of
power.
him. Not a big fan. But again, we're probably being a little too edgy here. We did talk about cannibalism and eat the rich,
You know, if there's
kill all police.
There's one person I wouldn't eat, Donald Trump.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't taste
Probably
too good.
tastes gross.
Probably taste all mealy.
Probably tastes like rape.
Whoa, what's rape taste like?
Ask his ex-wife.
Well, I'm asking you. You're the one that said he probably tastes like it.
I gave you my answer.
No, you didn't. You told me to ask someone else.
Ask his ex-wife who accused him of rape.
Well,
She probably knows.
okay.
I mean, are you saying she's a liar?
No. Believe women.
I believe her.
I mean, yeah, it's fucking Trump.
Look at that guy.
Look at him.
You think anyone's voluntarily had sex with him?
Only for money.
I said voluntarily.
That's still voluntarily if you agree to take the money.
This is a whole separate discussion.
Now we're getting into consent, and that means we need to stop. We need to stop in our tracks.
No means no.
Baby wants to fuck!